Gary and Barb Rossberg wrote a book, great book that I want to recommend to you, called The 5 Sex Needs of Men and Women. So let me tell you, they did a survey of hundreds of couples, and they asked them, what are your most important sex needs? Here are the 5 sex needs of men and of women, according to Dr. Gary and Barb Rossberg. Number 1 sex need of a man is mutual satisfaction. He wants to know that his wife is enjoying the sex. And it's very important for him because he wants to please his wife. Men want to please their wives. It's secondly important to him because it lets him know that he's a real man, that he's a good lover, and that he knows how to please his wife. If you're not enjoying it, even if you're just saying, okay, we'll have your way, you know, I've got to cook dinner, let's just go ahead like that, is that the quickie type of sex, you know, it can take care of some of the issues some of the time and be fine. But there has to be a regular sexuality where he feels as though you're having fun. That's you're being satisfied, you're being fulfilled. That is very important to him. 67% of all men they surveyed said that's my number 1 sex need. I need to know that she's enjoying it, having fun. Number 1 need of a woman sexually is affirmation. 67% of women said they need to be affirmed. Before sex, they need to know that they're appreciated for all they do for him and for the family. They need him to build her self-esteem. During sex, she needs to hear she's beautiful, she's sexy, she's a good lover, she wants to be affirmed. Number 1 need that a woman has. Number 2 need of men and women is both the same, and it's called connection. They both want to feel as though the other person cares about them and is connecting to them. And it's just attention. The main thing is just you're paying attention to me. You're being sensitive to me. There's a connection here. And so, by the way, men and women both have sex to connect. And that's a commonality here. Let me read you some. This is a statistic. At University of Washington, they study couples in connecting. Okay. Over a 1-hour dinner, the average couple will try to connect to each other over 100 times. It's just, I said something, I'm looking for your response. I looked over at you and I'm trying to see if you're looking back. All kinds of ways that we sit constantly and we're trying to, this is the commonality that men and women have, is I'm constantly trying to connect. Now listen to this statistic. Husbands who, this is in research, husbands who ignored their wife's bid to connect to them had an 82% divorce rate. She's saying things, she's doing things, she's trying to get you to notice, she's trying to get you to connect. When a man would not connect to his wife's bids for a connection, 82% divorce rate. Men who did connect had a 19% divorce rate. Women who were insensitive to their husband's bid for a connection had a 50% divorce rate, and women who were more sensitive to their husbands had a 14% divorce rate. We're trying to connect, and I'm walking by you, and I'm tapping you on the shoulder. I'm saying something to you. I told a joke, and I'm looking in your eyes, and I'm seeing that the lights are on, but nobody's home. I can't connect with you. I can't get you to respond to me. Common need that we have is I'm looking you in the eye, I'm smiling at you, I'm responding to what you're saying, and I'm sensitive to you. That is sex for both men and women is the culmination of our desire to connect with each other on an emotional level. It's very important. Number 3, need that a man has sexually is the responsiveness of his wife. And that means saying yes and being interested in sex. It communicates to him acceptance. Now, women need to understand this. You can say no to sex, but the way that you say no to sex is very important. And you can say to your husband, oh, honey, I love you very much. I'm so sorry. You know, I've got all this going on. I'm not thinking about that right now. Will you give me some time to prepare for that or whatever? Or I could get in the mood, but if you'd help me around the house here and help me do some stuff. You can say no, you can qualify it. But the worst thing is just to turn and to give a kind of an angry or a frustrated rejection, because that's how your husband's going to take it. He wants you to be responsive. It makes him feel like a man. It makes him feel acceptable and attractive to you. Number 3 need sexually that women have, this doesn't sound reasonable, but it's non-sexual touch. Women outside of the bedroom, women have a deep need for non-sexual affection, and the more non-sexually affectionate a man is, the more sexually responsive a woman becomes. And that's hard for men to understand because men are not like that. Men want sexual affection. But women need non-sexual affection. Number 4, sexual need of a husband is for his wife to initiate sex. This is what men said. What is your most important sexual need? Men said, I want her to initiate it. Not all the time necessarily. Again, it is a huge ego boost for the man. Is when you walk by and pinch him on the rear and say, hey, get in the bedroom. I mean, it just, I'm pinching me where you want. He doesn't care. But you know what it says to him? I love you, and I'm attracted to you, and I want to be with you. And I'm saying it's oxygen in his world. But he wants to know it's not just his idea, and he's attracted to you. Number 4, need that a woman has sexually. Again, this is the counterintuitive for men, is spiritual intimacy. Spiritual intimacy. Women say, I want my husband to pray with me. I want to be connected to him on a spiritual level. So you pray. You pray about problems. You pray about desires. You pray about anything that comes up in the relationship. Again, understanding the deepest level of intimacy is spiritual intimacy. This is a big need for a woman. And it has a direct sexual payoff for men because she's going to feel closer. It creates trust. And it takes away the stress because now you're trusting God and it takes away the stress. Number 5, need of a man, by the way, which was the number 1 need of a woman, is affirmation. And he needs to know that you appreciate him. He needs to know that he's a good dad, that he's a good husband, that he's a good provider. He needs to know that you're attracted to him, that you call him handsome, and all those kinds of things. And during sex, he needs to know that he's pleasing you, affirmation. Number 5, sexual need of a woman is romance. She wants to know that there's more to it than just sex. Romance for a woman is the meaning of sex. It contextualizes sex for her. And romance means this. It means doing special things. But here's what romance means. Number 1, it means self-initiated pursuit. You're doing it without being told. If she has to tell you, it doesn't count. Because it means you're not... romance means you're on my heart. I don't have to think about you. I get to think about you. That's why I sent you a card today. That's why I called you on the phone and just told you I loved you out of nowhere. That's the reason I sent you flowers. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing, is because you're on my heart. Okay, the second meaning of romance is speaking love in your spouse's language. Men and women have a very different definition of romance. Men, romance is watching football naked. Doing anything naked. It's just anything, bowling, anything like that. But if it's sex, it's romance to a man. But for a woman, it means talking and holding and relating and all those kinds of things. For a woman, romance is totally different than it is for a man. So being romantic means you go into her world, you speak her language, and you give her what she needs. And the third thing that romance means is unique value. That's why jewelry is such the universal language of romance, because jewelry communicates a unique value. Diamonds is that you have a value to me that is unique like no one else. You're my Valentine and there's nobody else. There's not two of them. So women need romance. But when you read through those there, we do have some things in common, but generally we're different. When you respect your spouse and you say, you're just not like me. And if we're going to have great sex, it means we connect.
Thank you for joining us. Experience the life-changing series Sex, Love, and Communication on CD or DVD. Follow your interests and get social by connecting with Jimmy and Karen and the Ministry of Marriage Today on Twitter. Marriage Today's latest book, Lifelong Love Affair, is an essential tool couples can turn to again and again for inspiration and strength. Order your copy today. Become a rock-solid partner today and equip yourself with the tools you need for a successful marriage. $14, $28, or $56 per month. Choose the partnership level that's right for you. Become a rock-solid partner today.